Welcome to the super spooky Halloween special of Zodimaniax. This is Leo and
Aries.
Aries. Sorry, I did not mean to talk
got
over
excited.
you. It is not Halloween while we are recording this. We're just preparing early, but obviously you're listening, so it's either on Halloween or it is after Halloween. So either way, we're feeling spooky.
Yeah. It's been an October. I feel like every year something happened, like all year round shit happens and it's unfortunate and like life just generally gets in the way sometimes. But I swear to God, it's like guaranteed every October I start like getting in the mood for Halloween stuff and I want to play all the Halloween games and do all the Halloween things. And then, like, a week or two in, shit just fully fucking hits the fan, and I can't do anything. Next year will be better. Next year I will actually, it takes me basically a year to prepare, like, whatever it is that I'm doing, because I have to start doing it, and then wait until the next available season to, like, actually finish what I started, so.
Yeah. My thing is, we've just been, super busy, or B, just like way too exhausted to put up our decorations outside. Like I have the inside of the house fully decorated because I'm spooky and I have so much Halloween decorations.
Yeah, vibes, atmosphere,
everything
immediately in the house.
But we have like a whole graveyard to set up outside and haven't even touched it, and I left it sitting out in the rain, so everything's all wet, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this, and it's like, it's coming up, and I'm like, I feel like this is the first Halloween that I've had where I've had like zero motivation to put up the outside decorations. Like usually I'm so pumped for it, but this year I'm like, I don't want to have to do it by myself. I think that's my issue.
Yeah. Did you guys do it together last year?
Every year we do it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's just been like a timing thing.
Yeah.
It's so important to get some of that. Even like, I'm sure you noticed, I don't have that much going on in terms of like fall themed stuff in the house. And I had more and I would like to get more, but the kittens eat everything.
Oh,
so like, it's been, there are ways around that, and I thought I could at least like get some stuff. Like I got a wreath that's really cute, and I thought I could put it high enough up of the wall, like so that they wouldn't reach it. That's not possible. Like if I put it high enough up that they can't reach, it's like practically touching the ceiling.
Right, and then it's
doesn't
just
look
like
correct.
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm happy that I have rats that stay in a cage.
Right, yeah.
And if they're out,
even
I'm
if they were
them.
out, yeah, they wouldn't be unsupervised, like getting into stuff.
I'm so excited. The one rat, my favorite one, he's got his Halloween costume. He's gonna be a wizard. Which he's already a wizard, but now he's gonna look like one.
You have rats and I have cats.
It's funny. Rats are better.
Rats are great. They just, don't live as long, and they're cage pets. Like,
that's the appeal, though.
Well, for some people, yeah. Like, we talked about getting ferrets before we got cats, and we really like preferred ferrets, but we worry so much. Like, I don't know what I would do if they got into something that they're not supposed to get into. They're very, like, almost frail, the amount of, like, maintenance that they need. And maybe, like, ferret owners will argue with me about this because it comes naturally to some of you. I know it does. I've seen, like, people who, like, just get ferrets and they know their shit, and that's great. But I'm not. I really do need to be able to, like, just let them roam around and do their thing, especially when they're like on a schedule. They sleep, like people say cats sleep 20 hours a day. Ferrets are actually like unconscious most of the time. So it's also not like a companion so much as it is like a pet that you are keeping them alive, taking care of them.
Rats are the same way though. They're nocturnal, so they're up all night. But I don't know. It's not that difficult. Like, we only had one instance where they got out of their cage, and it was because when we had cleaned the cage, there's like a little latch to hold in the bottom tray, and I had forgotten to latch it, and they managed to push the bottom tray out from underneath the cage and slipped out that way. And I mean, we found them eventually. It took like an hour of like moving around all the furniture, but eventually we found them and got them. But, you know, luckily they didn't get into anything that was going to hurt them. They definitely could have. They could have chewed on wires or anything like that, but they were fine. But I don't know, they're just so cute. I can't stand it. And their little noises.
I know. Oh my god.
Yes, they whisper. They're like
whisper chittering. Insect like chittering.
Yes, they're cute. And squeaking, random squeaking. Rat number 2 that bites. Just turned 1 last month.
Wow.
And he mellowed out immediately.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't bite me anymore, and I can pick him up and snuggle with him and stuff. And I'm like, see, it just took you until you got out of your stupid teen phase. That's fine.
Basically.
So I'm like, yay, now I can love both of my rats equally.
Yeah.
Thank God. I felt so bad for him.
He's just gonna start crying.
Your cats are just talking.
Pay attention to me.
Yeah. Would you like to be a part of the Halloween special? Oh, she answered.
She does that. She
Well,
talks
you are
back.
a spirit animal, huh? You are supposed to be a spiritual guardian, yes, according to the ancient Egyptians. Would you like to participate? She's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
She wants you to go over there.
I'm not going over there. You can come here.
That's what she lies down on her side and looks extra pathetic because she wants you to get up and...
She's lucky that I hold her at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't like cats.
She
She likes me for some reason. Animals just are obsessed with me. You know, this happened the other day at the beach. It was so funny. I was just walking down the beach, collecting some sea glass, and this lady's going by with her dog. Doesn't have him on a leash. Not supposed to have dogs on the beach to begin with, so it was kind of crazy that she was out there without a leash or anything. But dog's, you know, staying close to her, and it sees me, and it just stops and stares at me, and I was like, hello. And it's just staring at me. So I started to walk away, and the lady's walking in the other direction, and she's calling for her dog. She's like, come on, you gotta come back with me. And this dog is like following me and like staring at me, and I was just like, you gotta go back home. I'm like, go to your mama. I'm not your mama. You gotta go. And it just like looked at me and then walked away and went back to his mom. And I was like, why are animals obsessed with me? But not the right ones. That's the thing. If crows were obsessed with me, I would be like, that would be like heaven on earth, man.
Yeah,
like they're everywhere I go.
And like wild animals.
But that's the thing, they're everywhere I go. Like it's already like they're following me. Everywhere I go, there's fucking crows. And I'm like, okay. But like they don't actually come up to me if I try to feed them. They don't come over to me or anything like that. And I'm like, no, I want to befriend the crows. I don't need you just following me around.
Me and be spooky.
Yeah. Like, whatever. Quoth the raven.
Oh, Jesus. Just kill me.
I read that poem to my daughter on Halloween every year. It's like
that's kind of cool.
Like the night before Christmas. You know, you read the night before Christmas on Christmas Eve every year. I read the Raven on Halloween.
That's valid.
Yeah.
No, I think, actually, let me not just, like, reference fucking internet videos while we're here. The appeal. I think that's one of those things, I guess, that keeps bringing me back to, like, the different traditions I was telling you about, like, oral traditions, where, like, the idea is that it's supposed to be fun and, like, get people into the spirit of things, motivate them to, like, do stuff that basically you're not going to see reflected in reality or be like reinforced without some community support. Like people have to get each other into it. You can't just play D&D by yourself.
Right.
Like, you could, and then just pretend that everyone else is playing along.
But that's called schizophrenia.
Yeah. You could just pretend that everyone's playing along. But I mean, you can do, like, that's an option, but it does. You don't want to do that all the time forever. And when the whole point is that you're kind of trying to make a thing out of it. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but someone made a video that was like pointing out that, you know, if you don't, regardless of whether or not you think certain legends are problematic, or that it's problematic to like lie to your kids or gaslight your kids, like with Santa Claus in particular, that was like the example, or the tooth fairy. Like, what's the point in doing this if you're gonna trick your kid into believing in something that now they have a genuine expectation that that's real, and it's like a traumatic experience for them not to have that, or to find out that they've been lied to. And it's like, especially some things, it feels like the solution is to just have more fun with it. Like, wouldn't it be crazy if parents enjoyed telling their kids stories about this stuff instead of relying on other people to write fiction for you? Like, this person was, they were saying, like, right answer versus wrong answer. Wrong answer is, okay, Timmy, you're gonna put a quarter, or you're gonna put your tooth under a pillow, and the tooth fairy's gonna leave you a quarter or a dollar or something if you're lucky. And then the correct way to do it is, like, to tell this weird, like, spooky story about the legend of the great fairy. And
I wish you had given me this idea before my daughter started losing her teeth.
Right.
Because that's been such a problem.
I got it from fucking TikTok. It's not like I made it up.
I mean, I don't think, because I mean,
do you remember Slovenian school?
Yes.
And like that whole the Santa Claus thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
or
kind of.
Yaz, my bad. I don't remember. Okay. We were there for a year.
I barely remember it. All right, but the thing about it was that, like, these stories were equally as much supposed to kind of scare kids as much as they were supposed to be fun and, like, give them something to look forward to. Like, there's some aspect of the story that makes you kind of glad that it's not real life.
Oh, yeah.
In a way. I need someone else to throw a Halloween party so I can just...
Normally it'd be me, but not this year, man.
Yeah.
I'm barely
you need it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's actually, we can talk about that, something that's Halloween related that I don't get to talk about a lot.
Yes.
The thing with the Halloween and the clowns. So when, you know, spooky stuff is happening, basically it doesn't have to be like a certain time of year or whatever, but when like a horror movie that had a clown that would come out, since I mean, I bet this has probably been happening as long as that's been a thing, but when we were little kids, there was an incident where a movie came out that had a killer clown in it. And so it became like a trend before, like, social media trends were even a thing. It was local to the area that, like, a bunch of teenagers were going around dressed up as clowns and pretending to attack people. Like, they would chase them down.
I thought that was like an internet.
No. I mean, maybe it is.
When we were in high school.
Oh, so I'll get to that.
Okay.
So the background story is that by the time this happened in high school, I was already aware of, like, the phenomenon, which is tell people that there's a killer clown, and then a bunch of shitty teenagers are going to go around harassing older people, basically.
I have no memory of that, to be honest.
It was a whole thing. Oh, we were quite young.
Okay.
The only reason I remember is because I asked so many questions about it, and it was around the same time as the witch scare, because
what are you talking about?
So after I think it was before the movies, I think it was just the Harry Potter books that, like, caused a stir, but people started, like, the Christians, different types of Christians were like, they were getting real pissed because their kids were being told that, like, this is fun and spooky and for kids, to watch stuff with, like, demons and witches and stuff in it. So somebody got it in their head to go on a whole, like, anti-campaign and, like, poured thousands upon thousands of dollars into these movies.
I remember that movie.
You probably remember at least one of them, because a couple of them were really scary and, like, if you thought that the horror movies were scary as a kid, like, these anti-horror type of documentaries were, like, really fucking scary.
I remember Mom got, like, a anti-witchcraft movie that she made us watch.
Yeah.
I think she still has it. I want to take it from her house.
You should.
Because I want to watch it again, because I don't remember anything from it. But I remember her telling me specifically, she's like, you want to watch Harry Potter? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, here, this is it. Watch this. And I'm watching it, I'm like, this isn't Harry Potter. But I remember thinking it was funny. And then, like, obviously it didn't work because I grew up to be a fucking witch anyway.
No, and that's the thing, is, like, that... We don't even have to explain. Like, everyone knows what that opposites... What do you... Like, doing the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Like, people trying to raise their kids to think that something is scary, and then they find out that it's not what their parents thought it was, which makes it even easier to, like, dismiss whatever, like, cautionary tales they gave you about it. Especially, like, with our mother in particular, who was basically just paranoid, like...
Well, yeah, she told me, I can't even tell you how many times she told me that if I watched anything even remotely scary on the TV, that demons would literally come out of the TV and infiltrate the home.
Yes. Like, I was a kid, so I wasn't totally aware of the repercussions of this trend. I just heard multiple adults talking about how they had experienced this, and word got around really quickly, and they started, like, arresting people temporarily. Like, it wasn't, I mean, obviously it was temporary. They weren't, like, pressing charges or anything, but the point was to get these kids off the street and make it clear that, like, hey, that's really scary. Like, you don't actually know. You're gonna get hurt. Someone's gonna get hurt. You know, especially the one guy I can't get over, because he jumped out of the trunk of a moving car with a chainsaw.
Oh my god.
Which is really heavy and dangerous, and, like, all of the things, dude. And, like, the woman who was talking about this experience, she was actually traumatized. She had to keep telling herself, like, it's a prank, it's a prank, it's a prank, it's a prank. But it's still, like...
It reminds me of that kid who died, like, a few years back because he was doing a prank for his YouTube prank channel, where he was running around pretending to, like, hold people up with a knife, and someone thought that he was actually attacking them with a knife, and they shot him.
Yeah.
And his final words before he died was, "It was a prank." I'm not even
You're
joking.
joking.
I'm not. This really happened.
Oh, no.
It's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
This is what I'm saying. His final words were, "It's just a prank,
It was a prank.
bro. It's just a prank."
I just want to let you know, like, I try not to judge people or anything. Like, I'm really good at that shit. However, if your final words are, "It was just a prank," then you've made some serious, questionable life choices, and I hope you do better next time.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so the story gets better.
Yes, I want to hear first the story.
So, flash forward, like, maybe 10 years, maybe. We're in high school, and, you know, local cops were talking to regular people, just chatting, and they were like, "Oh yeah, so a temporary law is going to get put into effect for, like, the month leading up to, like, this movie and also Halloween happening, because they didn't want anyone to do this in the first place. They wanted to get ahead of it." What I thought was crazy is, like, I don't even know if that happened again in between those two incidents, or if the people who were there the first time it happened were still part of the local government, like,
Oh.
and remembered that it had happened. So they had this temporary law that was like, you're not going to get arrested, but you will get picked up and sent home if you're wearing a clown costume, period. Like, no one was allowed to wear a clown costume in school or in public. This definitely happened in high school because I remember, like, where I was and when I was talking about it with other kids. The fact that they, like, there was a discussion that happened because they didn't just wait for the thing to happen in the first place and for people to start doing these wild pranks.
Mm-hmm.
They made the temporary law ahead of time, which made people think, what are you telling me what to do? Like, they were trying to decide, like, oh, well, if you could announce, like, that this is a thing, then why not just, like, make everyone aware so that everyone knows it's a prank? But obviously, like, teenagers were being naive and weren't thinking, you know, oh, there might be someone who might take advantage of this and, like, actually do the thing because people expect it to be a fake hammer or
Right,
a fake knife or whatever. So, forward a few more years. I won't say where I was living at the time because it was kind of local. It was closer to where my friend was living. There were a couple murders in like the last 20 years that were claimed. The person who killed people claimed that they were a witch hunter and that the person that they killed was a witch.
Interesting.
And that happened in 2020.
Okay.
In this area. And my friend who lived closer, she just like showed me this article one day and she was like, I wasn't going to say anything because I thought it would freak you out. But so there was this guy who killed a couple of people. Like he stalked them, followed them home, and then killed them in their own homes. And someone wrote a small, like, local art. It didn't even, like, make front page news. I don't know why. I can think of many reasons. I don't know why exactly, like, most people didn't want to talk about it. Like, even if they knew about it, it was just too icky. They didn't want to get into the specifics. They said, actually, I guess I won't fearmonger. I don't want to panic anyone. This guy was crazy. Like, legit, the last few instances that I've heard about, like, this person is not a witch hunter. They're a schizophrenic.
Yeah.
And they're not targeting witches at all. They're just targeting people who wear vague, like, paraphernalia that might look a little bit, like, witchy.
Yeah, and then they get confused because they're hallucinations.
Yeah, they're like over. It's a whole thing. Stuff like a necklace, like yours actually, or
I'm
like
glad this
tattoos.
makes me a target. That's nice.
Well, it shouldn't.
I've had.
So what was?
You wouldn't believe the amount of people who've come up to me and they're like, "Do you have an upside down cross on your neck?" And I'm like,
Oh my god.
No. I'm like, how does that? That doesn't look like a cross. It's a hammer.
Yeah.
It's a hammer.
At best, it looks like if they didn't know that it was like a stylized. In any case, so the thing with this. Why I even brought up the ooky spooky thing, like making people worry about getting hunted as witches. I don't think you have to worry about that. But what happened, I guess, phenomenon I was reminded of was the copycats thing. Because what upset me about the killer clown situation is that all the people who were doing this appeared to know. They were aware that, like, a real-life murder had taken place. And it felt like they were making a mockery of, the victims and recreating that scenario in real life and then just saying, it's a prank, bro.
Yeah,
like,
that's
not only is that traumatic, like, to be chased by a stranger looking crazy with something that looks like a weapon, but also, like, knowing that that is a thing that happened and you're like risking it potentially affecting people that like bringing up that experience. But then the thing with the witch hunter guy, he got arrested and that was like old news within a week. And that was the thing that my friend was not going to tell me about, but she said, so actually you do need to know this for context, because it's really weird. This fucking creepy old man came up to me looking real disheveled like, and was just like, hey, is that a moon and stars on your necklace or something? Like pointing out like the jewelry that she was wearing, which didn't look particularly witchy, but she looked like a fucking hippie. That's what she looked like all the time.
Yeah.
So it was very obvious that like she was into the spiritualism stuff.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, well, you better look out, there's witch hunters out. Like, literally, like, the dumbest. Like, she even thought, like, this has to be a joke. This guy has to be fucking joking.
Oh my god.
And then she saw, she had seen his car without realizing it. She saw which car he got into, and then she was like, oh, it was filled to the brim with, like, ghost hunter shit and vampire hunter shit, but like the hokey stuff. Like,
that's fun.
And I had seen his car before, because it's noticeable when someone's driving a beater around and it looks like it's literally a Halloween decoration. You notice that, like,
I've seen a couple of cars around here that
I
love them.
I think that's great. But like, and even the thing that he did, it was just very poorly timed, because I thought, you know, I'm used to seeing these people around, like, and bumping into them every once in a while. Someone is like, it's a LARPing thing. You know, they're just throwing in a little bit of spice, like, into everyone else's daily lives, you know? Just say some weird shit in a costume that kind of looks like a real person anyway. And, you know, with the car, like, that's so extra, so over the top. But he was a local guy, and I thought that what she thought, and why she even brought it up to me, is like, do you think he's making fun of the fact that 2 people just got murdered? Like, he's going around scaring... he's going around scaring hippies. Like, he's not intentionally seeking out people who look religious, or that it looks like a cultural thing. He's looking for posers and then bullying them about being posers. Like, if anything, you would think that a person like that might have a little more respect, or like self, or it looks like they do have respect for the people who like would actually have that as a concern. But like, in her mind, she's like, I do dabble in this shit. And I don't
So it's a genuine concern.
Yeah, I don't want people to look at the way that I'm dressed and think, oh, that's, like, close enough. They're not. Like, this is a fashion accessory, not realizing that, like, no, I actually am a little bit worried, because there are people who, like, joke around a little too much about, like, and I have heard, like, I've had 2 people now tell me dead ass to my face they know people who have claimed to kill people and then gotten away with it. And I'm like, they've got to be fucking joking. Like, someone did not just admit, like, to a murder of people and then say that, like, they're specifically targeting certain people and they just got away with it. Like, I don't believe you.
Unless they're, like, an actual psychopath, because sometimes they get bored and they tell people to get a reaction, because they know that no one's gonna believe them.
I agree, but I'm telling you, these guys are so fucking funny. Like, they're goofy. They're like, you can't take them seriously. They don't seem like
like they're charismatic.
Yeah.
That's a psychopath.
Oh, no.
That's literally their MO. No one suspects them because they seem like they're just such a good person. Like, they're just so fun.
You're not helping. I'm like trying to make people feel better.
1 out of every 100 people are psychopaths. And actually that number is higher. That's just an estimate.
That doesn't surprise me. No, that part shocks me less. I'm more shocked that the idea that murders that don't get pressed don't get solved. Because I've been told that by people who are skeptical.
But it's true.
Before, but yeah, like, I guess it would have to be reported in order for anything to be tracked. Okay, well,
they're probably all,
really
like,
depressing.
missing persons.
Yeah.
That, you know, they don't know if they were murdered or not because they haven't been found. So.
Happy spooky season, guys. Don't do anything too magical. But then that's the other thing is, like, I wonder how that's going to go, because that's becoming more and more of a thing where people are, like, getting to be a little bit more comfortable about sharing those things that, like, you need to show it, like, wear it on your sleeve a little bit if this is, like, a cultural thing for you. If you're, like, reinforced in your community and there's, you know, you're doing shit like that, where you want to be able to talk about those things. And it did get better. Like, okay, so partially what made me feel better about the witch hunter, like the real one in the first place, was that they said that the jewelry they were wearing was of this, like, type that everyone would recognize was a little bit magical, right? But they were also, because of certain mainstream things at the time, those were being sold in every gas station.
Right.
Literally every
Like,
single...
everybody could have
Yeah,
one.
I could not go to a gas station. I even made fun of them sometimes, because I'm like, oh, you don't have any other, like, symbolic stuff? It's literally just the hammer, bro. Like, yeah, so, like, anyone could have been wearing that, and even just because it looks cool, like, that doesn't say anything about them, what they're actually doing at home. But for right now, I guess sleep well tonight.
Yes. My lovely children of the night.
We are going to continue to be open about these things. That I think everyone is safe. I think you're at just as much of a risk as usual in terms of having to deal with crazy people. But it is a rabbit hole, and it is something to consider.
Yeah, so if you are pagan or practicing spiritualism or witchcraft in any capacity, just, you know, be mindful of your social surroundings during this time. I know it's Halloween, so it's exciting and everybody wants to celebrate Samhain and all that, but be mindful of your surroundings. I know you probably don't need to be told that, but there are people out there who are not accepting, and I'd hate to see anybody get hurt for innocent shit. So just be careful, everyone, and have a wonderful Halloween, spooky season, and everything. And a wonderful Nordic New Year's. Yay!
Yay! Looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to the wet, dead leaf mush.
Yes.
That's what I'm really looking forward to. It's starting to get cold, but we're gonna get extra spooky this year and just go all out, because, friendly reminder, this is our last year without magic. I'm calling it. Like,
Calling
it is
it.
law. I'm calling it. Some people try to predict that stuff, and I think, oh, what's the point? What if you're wrong? And then you might feel stupid. I'm not going to feel stupid later if that's not what happens.
Yeah.
It just seems to be the vibe right now.
Also, I just want to throw in fun fact, a historical fun fact about Halloween. Dressing up for Halloween, the original dress up that people did was specifically they picked one of their ancestors that was an important